Howdy, folks. Well, Grendizer. Grendizer. It's good. I like it. I'm enjoying it. Um, Unfortunately, my friend is not going to be here for reasons out of my control, at least. And yeah, so this episode was very good. It's also, I think it's the best looking episode since episode one. There was a lot of 2D animation for the robots, which I really do appreciate. Is it buttery smooth? No. Is it like looking better than a movie? No, it is not. But like, okay, let's compare to the other mecha. It's about on par with current Gundam and Code Geass, and keep in mind, Code Geass and Gundam both have more money and more brand recognition, which means they're more likely to get higher level sponsors, which then in turn allow more studios to invest in. Basically, the fact that Grendizer is keeping up with this just shows that, yes, the show looks really good. On top of that, we get not introduced, but we finally get to see the princess of Freed's people interacting with, like, her and her sister interacting with Freed, and that's pretty cool. They're not smart. I'm not gonna lie. I get it. Freed very much did a bet from their perspective. I can kind of understand it, but at the same time, it feels like it would not be that hard to like convince them if they just paid attention to what's going on. And like, just none of it makes a lick of sense. And it's, I don't know. To be fair, I do not know how the rest of the show is going to play out, but I think they need to. If they fight like this, okay, it makes sense. But if they don't turn good by, like, I would say honestly, episode 8, then I would genuinely like lose kind of any sort of credibility they would have as rulers, and maybe even a little bit of the script writers, just because, like, dog, you should not be tricked that easily. And to be, I've been talking a lot about it, but as they are the main subject of the video, having them be in a believable state that, hey, it makes sense why these two people who are so close to Freed are now fighting him. Like, it needs to make a decent amount of sense. And it doesn't make a crazy amount. It still works. It's not terrible or anything, but it serves as a narrative device to get the two robots to fight. And as I was talking about earlier, the fight looks good. The fight is engaging. It's impactful. And as much as I've been clowning on the two princesses, they do add a more emotional aspect of it, which we haven't had it yet in the show, and it's making the overall experience very enjoyable. Now, would I say this is the best episode of the season? No, but I actually believe that it might be better than every single episode except 1 and 2, I would say, so far. So it is a notable highlight. On top of that, it's time for me to talk about the stupid thing. And you may be wondering, what stupid thing are you talking about, Rox? And power scaling. So if you've been recently on my channel and you like don't look around too much, I do power scale a decent chunk, and we just found out that Grendizer is directly compared to a star, which is quite notable as stars are very powerful, and that means Grendizer, if Grendizer is star level, that's kind of wild, or produces the same energy levels as a star, which does pretty much make it star level. But even then, like, the sun by itself produces, I think, about enough energy to be considered multi-continental every single second. So it is crazy, right? I think the power rating it was given was 107 trillion joules, which I would have to do more research into looking at it. But yeah, So Grendizer is really, 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 really strong. And, I know not everyone is gonna care just because like I got it, your power scaling isn't for everyone, but like dog, this is cool. And the fact that the show like kind of acknowledges that is like really, really, really cool, right? And I'll probably have some versus matches coming up for him eventually. As you can see, I've kind of taken a break from a lot of the versus matches and I'm doing other stuff. I'm actually doing a little bit of work on my second channel. I'm thinking about turning it into a full time Ruby channel just because, man, it's fun making content about that and it's fun making content about Mecca, right? And that's one of the reasons I'm working on the second channel and working about this channel, just because it's fun and you gotta have passion about it. And that's the thing about this show. Let's be frank, Grendizer, the original, came out in 1975, and it is not acknowledged that often by like people as the third. It's normally called like the third in the Mazinger trilogy. So the fact that you exist is clearly showing that it's born out of passion, and I appreciate it. It's a very passionate show. I've seen a very small amount of the original Grendizer, thankfully not enough to spoil much, but I've seen it, and they recreate some of the plot points. They reference a lot of stuff. Their opening has references to Gundam Seed, and it's just this feels like someone wanted to make this show. Okay, like obviously the direct comparison right now is Code Geass: Rose of the Recapture, and I'm gonna be frank, I like watching Grendizer more. Like, I think the people who are making Grendizer right now want to make it more so than the people who made Rose. And I know that's a weird thing to say and might even be controversial. But I'm having a really good time. So overall, I would highly suggest to watch this show in case this is your first time hearing about it, just from me as an existence, right? And guess what? If you're like, you know, and if this is like, if you're starting to doubt it, I do think it will get better. So I hope to continue seeing you guys in the reviews. And I just want you guys to comment down below if anyone knows how many 107 trillion joules is. I want to know what that is on Versus Wiki. But with anywho, I will give this overall episode, I think I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Yeah. Anyway, that's all, folks. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys later.